It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer, and today we brought out a beer from the vaults. First of all, I'm going to apologise to Dog's Window Brewery because this beer has been sitting in my fridge for probably the best part of 8 or 9 months. It seems like 8 or 9 months. But on the saving grace of this, it's a barley wine. And if you've been following the channel for a few years now, you will know that if a barley wine sits in my cupboard, I will always preference a hoppy beer or something that needs to be drunk fresh over a barley wine. And the reason for that is because barley wines can be drunk. I know barley wines that have been drunk after 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, maybe even 10 years. You can get into a barley wine. So in terms of the age of the beer, it's still relatively young. Dog's Window Brewery, Why the Big Paws Barley Wine, 8% ABV, 440 milliliter can, being brewed with pale Vienna crystal malt, First Gold and East Kent Goldings hops, and it's described as an English ale. Brewed in Wales, brewed in Bridgend in South Wales. Fantastic brewery. Whenever I have a beer from Dog's Window Brewery, generally absolutely fantastic. Without further ado, let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. We'll talk more about barley wines in a moment. Barley wines and why I never seem to get around. Ooh, look at this! Ho, ho, ho. I mean, look. Here's one of the reasons. It's 8 months old, this beer, and it might even be a little bit older. Look at the quality. Look at the quality on this beer. Wow. Look at all that sediment rolling round in the bottom of the glass. One finger tan coloured head. It's a murky monster of a beer, this one. Murky, deep, dark. It looks like an Imperial Mild. A really dark Imperial Mild beer. Loads of haze, great carbonation. Look at the body of this beer. Once I drink some of the beer, I'll be able to really spin this beer up and show you what this beer really looks like. But just giving it a small whirl round now, look at the quality of that beer. And again, if you can keep this image in your mind, when we get back to talking about barley wines and aging barley wines and not rushing a barley wine review out, holding on to a barley wine, we'll talk about all of that in a moment. But first of all, I want to get the initial aroma. Well, there's loads of sediment in the bottom. It looks good carbonation. The aroma of the beer, yeah, it's just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Where do I start with this? It's got a fantastic toffee, nutty, biscuity, bready, licorice, vanilla. Oh, wow. Raisin, a little bit of raisin in there. It smells absolutely delightful. Absolutely delightful. It's hoppy as well. It's kept hold of the hops. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. I've got to put that down. That is incredible. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. What a beer. And shame on me. Shame on me. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. Whenever I get sent a package of beer by a brewery, I'll always leave the barley wine till the last minute. The last kind of like moments of the barley wine. Well, you think that, but again, that's going to last years in that can. It would have lasted years in the can. Now it's in my glass. There's something about me and barley wines. I just think, oh, I'll do the hoppy one. I'll do this New England IPA. I'll do this other hoppy pale ale, or because they got shorter shelf lives. See, they've got shorter shelf lives. But I suppose on the positive side of that, the beer has been in the can for, I say 8 months. It might even be a year. It might be blooming closer to a year than 8 months. But my goodness me, it's had time to age. This has had time to age, and it is wonderful. Look at it. Look at that carbonation chasing the head up the glass. Look at the beer as I roll it round in the glass. Look at the quality of this beer. This is why I will never ever become sick of beer. I will never ever tire of beer, because you're always hit with surprises with beer. I got the glass out the cupboard. I was like, oh, it's time to review that barley wine. And I went into the review with, in all honesty, not a great deal of enthusiasm. I'll be perfectly honest with you. There's something about me and barley wines. I think it's the word wine. I think if they call this something else, like a malt, a double malt ale or something, I'd probably review it within 4 months of its life. But I think, so I got a bad association with wine. I like wine lovers and beer lovers were like enemies. It's like the Manchester Derby. Manchester City versus Man United, or Liverpool versus Everton. You know, you're either a beer drinker or you're a wine drinker, and we literally clash with swords. Or I do anyway. I see these wine drinkers and they're spitting things out, and I've got no like drives me nuts, to be honest with you. And it all goes back to my very early days as a beer reviewer, watching a video of a man on The Guardian, can't remember the guy's name now, and he tore a female beer writer. She's still around. I'm not going to mention any names, but she's still around. Lovely lady. But he was really quite rude to her. Really quite rude. And he was like, wine is far more superior to beer, and all of this other malarkey he was banging on about. Malcolm something. Malcolm, his name was Malcolm. Oh, it was going to be Malcolm, wasn't it? Malcolm something. Anyway, I think that's why I don't really, even though they're fantastic beers, terrific beers, malt, biscuit, breadiness, good carbonation, fantastic body, fantastic mouthfeel, creaminess, vanilla, raisin, plum, fig, spiciness, pepperiness, so much going on with the beer. I think it's because it's got the word wine in it that I always think of that Malcolm guy from The Guardian. And I'd love to go up against that guy, actually. I'd love for The Guardian to do another video where it's me against him. And it'll be me. It'll be me shafting that man live on telly. Can you imagine? Imagine if the poor bloke's passed away, like. You know, that sort of thing. And get all these family members now. What are you saying about that poor man? Anyway. This barley wine, I promised to swirl round, didn't I? This barley wine is absolutely incredible. Spicy, peppery, bitter, massive malt body. It's like a bread basket of different breads with nuts in and flour on the top, and oh, it's got everything. Everything that you could possibly want from a beer. I wish I could break my stranglehold. I wish I could break my negativity towards the word barley wine, because I love it. When I finally get round to it and when I finally drink it and enjoy it, I love the damn stuff. It's fantastic. That, for me, Dog's Window Brewery. Again, I apologise, I've hung on to this beer far too long. Why the big Paws Barley wine? This Welsh beer producer have been producing terrific, amazing beer for a number of years now. And I like it enough to give it a Stone the Crows 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers!